All right, Shalom. Giving all praise and glory to the Most High Power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom, Mashiach, Kelashai. As always, we're going to start with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shalom, Mashiach, Kelashai. In the name of the Lord and Savior, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father, by Shalom, Mashiach, Kelashai, by Him, in the name of the Lord and Savior. So, all that we're saying to do is going to be in the name of the Lord and Savior, going to the Most High on our behalf, that the Most High can look down upon us and send His Holy Spirit. As the Most High told us He would speak to us in these last days through His Son, Mashiach El Shai. So we're going to look into Valentine's Day, since it's being so much exalted today, this pagan holiday. And you see what happened in Florida, in the school in Florida. So far, it said this young man of 18 years old went into the school and shot and killed 17 people that have died. So I want to look at Valentine's Day origins. Saint Valentine's Day, 5th century Rome. We're going to go to there. The Catholic Church's attempt to paper over a popular pagan fertility rite with the clubbing, death, and decapitation of one of its own martyrs is the origin of this lovers' holiday. I'll say holiday. But you know, they use holiday, H-O-L-I-D-A-Y, when we have holy days, H-O-Y, H-O-L-Y-D-A-Y, right? Where, you know, the vowels is A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes Y, where they change the Y to an I and change the pronunciation to holiday, which means they're holy days. Like we have holy days. We can go into that too. That the Most High gave us that we should observe as the Israelites, and the world should be following us and following the Most High. His holy days that He gave us. See, as early as the 4th century BC, the Romans engaged in an annual young man's rite or passage to the god Lupercus. And that's the Most High to forgive me for saying the names of these gods. The names of teenage women were placed in a box and drawn at random by adolescent men or teenagers. Thus, a man was assigned a woman companion for their mutual entertainment and pleasure, often sexual, for the duration of a year, a whole year. Young girls put their name on a piece of paper, it was called bullets, and they would put it in this large box. And men, the young men, teenagers usually, would draw their name out. And these women would be for their mutual entertainment and pleasure, often sexual, for the duration of a year, for a whole year, after which another lottery was staged. Next year, another lottery gonna be staged. Determined to put an end to this 800-year-old practice here, 800-year-old practice, the early church fathers sought a lover's saint to replace the deity Lupercus. They found a likely candidate in Valentine, a bishop who had been martyred some 200 years earlier. In Rome, in 270 AD, Valentine had engaged the mad emperor Claudius II, who had issued an edict forbidding marriage. Claudius felt that married men made poor soldiers because they were loath to leave their families for battle. They didn't want to leave their families to join the army and to go to war. The empire needed soldiers, so Claudius, never one to fear unpopularity, abolished marriage. He was all about wars, having wars. So a lot of A lot of men, when he said go out and get the soldiers, they wouldn't join the army. Valentine, bishop of Atirana, invited young lovers to come to him in secret. Now, Claudius II, he forbid marriage between a man and a woman. You understand? So if they didn't marry, then the man would join the army because they wouldn't have no wife. But Valentine was marrying couples, going against the king's orders. Now, a man can't marry no couple, but that's, Catholic. No man stand before you. It's like they do in America. I now pronounce you man and wife by the power invested in me by whatever state they live in, or whatever state you're getting married in. Show me that in the Bible. You won't find that. Listen. Valentine, bishop of Atirana, invited young lovers to come to him in secret, where he joined them in the sacrament of matrimony, or he married them, as they do today. Nothing new under the sun. Claudius learned of this friend of lovers and had the bishop brought to the palace. The emperor, impressed with the young priest's dignity and conviction, attempted to convert him to the Roman gods to save him from otherwise certain execution. Valentine refused to renounce Christianity and impudently attempted to convert the emperor. On February 24, 270, Valentine was clubbed, stoned, then beheaded. History also claims that while Valentine was in prison awaiting execution, he fell in love with the blind daughter of the jailer, Asterius. Through his unswerving faith, he miraculously restored her sight. See how they don't give man the credit from the Most High? He signed a farewell message to her from your Valentine, a phrase that will live long after its author died, until this year. This day, matter of fact. From the church's standpoint, Valentine seemed to be the ideal candidate to usurp the popularity of Lupercus. See how they involving this pagan Lupercus to him? So when 496 AD, a stern Pope, Gelasius, outlawed the mid-February Lupercarian festival, but he was clever enough to retain the lottery, unaware of Romans' love for games of chance. Now into the box that had once held the names of available and willing single women were placed the names of saints. Both men and women extracted slips of paper, and in the ensuing year they were expected to emulate the life of the saint whose name they had drawn. Admittedly, it was a different game, with different incentives. To expect a woman and draw a saint must have disappointed many a Roman male. The spiritual overseer of the entire affair was its patron Saint Valentine. With reluctance and the passage of time, more and more Romans relinquished their pagan festival and replaced it with the church's holy day. So you see this, even though you're not really looking at it as a holy day, this represented a holy day for the pagans. The pagan Roman Catholic Church. Valentine cards. How did this come into being? Traditionally, mid-February was a Roman time to meet and court prospective mates. The Lupercian lottery, under penalty of mortal sin, Roman young men did institute the custom of offering women they admired and wished to court handwritten greetings of affection on February the 14th. The cards acquired St. Valentine's name. As Christianity spread, so did the Valentine's Day card. The earliest extant card was sent in 1415 by Charles, Duke of Orleans, to his wife while he was a prisoner in the Tower of London. It is now in the British Museum. In the 16th century, St. Francis de Sales, Bishop of Geneva, attempted to expund the custom of cards and reinstate the lottery of saints' names. He felt that Christians had become wayward and needed models to emulate. However, this lottery was less successful and shorter lived than Pope Gelasius, and rather than disappearing, cards proliferated and became more decorative. Cupid, the naked cherub armed with arrows dipped in love potion, became a popular Valentine image. He was associated with the holiday or the holiday because in Roman mythology, he is the son of Venus, goddess of love and beauty. By the 17th century, handmade cards were oversized and elaborate, while store-bought ones were smaller and costly. In 1797, a British publisher issued The Young Man's Valentine Writer, which contained scores of suggested sentimental verses for the young lover unable to compose his own his own. So it says, contains scores of suggested sentimental verses for the young lover unable to compose his own. Printers had already begun producing a limited number of cards with verses and sketches, called mechanical valentines, and a reduction in postal rates in the next century ushered in the less personal but easier practice of mailing valentines. That in turn made it possible for the first time to exchange cards anonymously, which is taken as the reason for the sudden appearance of racy verse in an era otherwise cutishly Victorian. The burgeoning number of obscene valentines caused several countries to ban the practice of exchanging cards. In Chicago, for instance, late in the 19th century, the post office rejected some 25,000 cards on the ground that they were not fit to be carried through the United States mail. The first American publisher of Valentines was printer and artist Esther Holland. Her elaborate lace cards of the 1870s cost from $5 to $10, with some selling for as much as $35. Since that time, the Valentine card business has flourished. With the exception of Christmas, Americans exchange more cards on Valentine's Day than at any other time of the year. It says, look at the Ritz-Carlton and hotel, Ritz-Carlton hotel and hotels. They have been booked for a whole year for Valentine's Day. You look at all the different surprisingly gifts that's going to be given to each other on this day. It's the #1 delivering date of the year. Spending, spending, spending. Money, 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 money. That's what it's all about. What are you willing to pay for your love and your lust? It said Americans will purchase more than 46 million heart or booty-shaped boxes of chocolate in celebration of Cupid. Valentine's Day is toxic, really. When you think about it, it's toxic. You look at all the things, you see when you look at Revelations 18th chapter, you see all the things, all the things that Babylon offers that she's going to lose. When you read Revelation 18 and 11, as she being destroyed and tormented, it says, Revelation 18:11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise anymore. Listen, this is all here in America. The merchandise of gold and silver, all these things are given on Valentine's Day. They made of gold and silver, these precious stones, as it says, and of pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manners, vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. All these things are given. Believe me. Y'all look at slaves and souls, they selling people. They sacrificing people today, children and so forth. All these things are happening. When you look at what we should be doing in 1 John 5 and 3. We talk about love. It says, for this the love of the Most High that will keep his commandments, and commandments are not grievous. Mashiach Yahushua told us in John 14 and 15, if you love me, keep my commandments. You see? And 2 John 6, the same thing. I mean, this is love, that we keep his commandments. So what part of that our people don't understand? They don't understand it because they want to follow what it is they shouldn't be following. And that's these pagan days. It's going to come back to harm. I say it's toxic. It's something that's going to really, really hurt you. You know, Valentine's Day is a pagan love feast. Roma's pagan festival of Juno, February. The month of February was sacred to Juno, also known as February. She was the Roman goddess of fever of love, marriage, and women. So dealing with what? Still dealing with the fertility god, going all the way back to Semiramis people. Her feast day fell on February 15th. On this day, women wrote their names, as I told you earlier, on slips of paper, which is called billets, and put them in a large bowl. And each single man, generally teenagers, young men of puberty age and women of puberty age, drew one billet or one of the papers with the young girl's name on it out of this bowl, and the young girl or young maid whose name is on the billet or paper was his partner for that day and for the year to come, enjoying this pagan festival, and for the year do sexual satisfaction for a whole year. They participated in this pagan ritual. That's what I'll call it. They had to be together sexually for a whole year. And I told you before, then it was stopped, then it was the next year. Totally against the laws of the Most High. The Catholic Church replaced Lupercalia with Valentine's Day. And like we said, they used Valentine, who they beheaded, stoned to death, clubbed to death, and beheaded. They used him. They called it Valentine's Day, named after him. Let's go all the way back to Nimrod. Because Cupid is just like Nimrod. Let's see how Nimrod was. Go to Genesis, I think the 10th chapter. Let's see. Let's see. Verse 9. Let's start at verse 8. Genesis 10 and 8. And Cush begot Nimrod. These are Hamites, or so-called Africans today. And Cush, whose Babylonians are Cushites or Ethiopians, begot Nimrod, who began to be a mighty one in the earth. And he was a mighty hunter. So that's why you see Cupid with that arrow, that bow and arrow. See, Cupid had that bow and arrow, Remember, that's who they chose for the recognition of Valentine's Day. He was a mighty hunter, Nimrod. It says, before the Most High. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Most High. See? So, this who Cupid represents, going all the way back to Nimrod, which represents Nimrod. Regardless of whatever name they use, it still goes back to Nimrod, and the fertility god, it represents his mama / wife, because he had sex with his mother, Semiramis, and they had a son named Tammuz. All in the Bible. And these are practices that Israel was dealing with when the Most High said, lead them Hamites, pagan idols or gods alone. Tear them down. But now we went in there, what's that? Oh, let's see what that's about. Like it is today. You don't know the origins of nothing you believe in, hardly, but yet still you're going to follow it. You got to follow the way of the Most High. Period. That's it. His word. Every word of the Most High is pure. Nimrod is Cupid. Cupid is Nimrod. Because he had that bow and arrow. Remember? You see what Nimrod was a great hunter. That's what they had, bow and arrow. That's why they have Cupid with that bow and arrow. And that heart that y'all have on Valentine's Day, what did Cupid say? Shoot the arrow. When you shoot that arrow, you see any kind of film of Cupid, where you shoot the arrow at? In the booty. And that's all the heart is a booty. Somebody bent over. That's all it is. Wickedness. The Most High told us, go to Jeremiah 10. Jeremiah 10, and 1 and 2. Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel, O family of Israel. What he said? Thus said the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen. So what he said? Learn not the way of the heathen. We're supposed to be learning the way of the heathen. But that's what we did. Therefore, here we are as a people, stuck on stupid, which Christian, the original meaning of Christian, I don't care what you want to call it now, means stupid. It comes from the words that represents stupid. Matthew 15 and 8. So most I said this. Well, I'll start with 7. It say, ye hypocrites. Hypocrites. Well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people draw nigh, or which means near unto me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but their heart, meaning your mind, is far from me. Yeah, they praise the Most High. Oh, hallelujah, whatever they say. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua. Ba'ashem Yeshua, Yeshua, Yehoshua, Jesus Christ, whatever. This people draw nigh unto me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but their hearts is far from me. So your minds are far from him. But in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. See, a man told you about Valentines Day. That's the doctrines of men. It has nothing to do with the Most High. He gave us holy convocations to go by. Now we want to follow whatever wicked men have put it forth. Look at Zephaniah. Go to the book of Zephaniah, the first chapter. Verse 8. Say, and it shall come to pass in the day of the Most High sacrifice, that I will punish the princes and the king's children, and all such as are clothed with strange apparel. So he's going to get you. In the self-same day will I punish all those that leap on the threshold, which fill their masters' houses with violence and deceit. It shall come to pass in that day, said the Most High, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and an howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Howl, ye inhabitants of the test, for all the merchant people are cut down. All they that bear silver are cut off. You're going to be cut off. Why? Because of paganism. Moses said, learn not the way of the heathen, but here we are. We're going to do it just the way we want to do it. He told us in Proverbs 3 and 5. And nobody asks why. Nobody asks, why are we doing this? It says, trust in the Most High with all thine heart, with all your mind. Trust in the Most High, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways, everything you do, acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. He direct you out of this pagan days that they have set up for you to worship, and you don't know nothing about where they originated from. Just off. That's our people, off. From there, let's look at Leviticus 18. Leviticus 18th chapter. Most I'm not playing when it comes down to what we should be doing. Leviticus 18 and 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Most High your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, them Hamites, so-called Africans, wherein ye dwell, in captivity under these Egyptians, shall ye not do. So they don't do what they do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Don't do the things you see these nations doing. I'm talking about particularly the Hamites at this time. After the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. That's what he told us. Look at Deuteronomy, 7th chapter. Deuteronomy 7, verse 1. When the Most High thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. This is our power. He cast out all these Hamite nations, so-called African nations, to give us the land of Canaan that we just read about. And when the Most High thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them. He said, we shall kill them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant, that's a contract or agreement, with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son. The Most High ain't with no integration marriages. Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. So we can't marry no Hamites because they dark like us. That's what he's telling us. Or any other nation. For they will turn away thy son from following me. That's why he said we ain't supposed to get with these nations. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods or other idols. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. But doing what? Following the ideals and the religions and the beliefs of these other nations, because you're going to follow their gods eventually. He telling you, just like King Solomon, he got with them Gentile women and started building temples to worship their gods and so forth, going in there with them, worshiping the same way they were worshiping, same as Israel did. We as a people, listen to what he said. This is what he told us to do. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. Read to again. He said, but thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. He said, for thou art an holy people. Talking to we, the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. He said, because all 12 tribes of Israel were able to hear these laws from the Most High. He said, for thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy power. The Most High thy power hath chosen thee, the 12 tribes of Israel, to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. See? But he gave us strict orders to deal with these nations as such, as it is written. Now we can look at Psalm 96 and 5. Psalm 96 and 5. It says, for all the gods of the nations are idols. You know? For all the gods of the nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel are idols. But the Most High made the heaven. He said that because they worship in the sun, the moon, the stars, and comets, and everything you think of. Whatever there is that the Most High made in the heavens. Go to Leviticus 18. And we're going to look at verse 22. He said, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. What they doing today? Man with man, woman with women. It's abomination. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. They laying down with their dogs and beasts and so forth. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. See? That's the law. But are they doing that? They doing that right now for fun. Remember this, 1 Corinthians 6. 1 Corinthians 6. 1 Corinthians 6th chapter, and look at verse 19. It says, what? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which ye have of the Most High, and ye are not your own? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify the Most High in your body and in your spirit, which are Mashiach. We belong to Mashiach. Mashiach is the Most High. 1 Corinthians 3:23 tells you that. So we gotta really look at this, because our bodies are the temple of the Most High. And when you're doing what you're doing, and really, no telling what people are doing, they're doing some things that the Most High said we ain't even supposed to talk about. It's so wicked. 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not, but consider that, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of the Most High, like they doing today, today and tonight, him shall the Most High destroy, for the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple ye are. So the Most High not with all the abominations that are set up in this world today for people to follow and think that it's okay. It's not okay. You got to come back to the Most High and Mashiach El Shai, so you can be able to have an opportunity to be saved. Look at 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. Know ye not, don't you know, that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Unrighteous not going to inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, and all the gods of the nations are idols, nor adulterers. How many women that's married, going out tonight and going to end up being with another man? Might be just for the night. One night stand. Bring some kind of disease or something back to her old man or whatever. A man going out there getting with another man's woman. That's adultery. No adulterers. Bringing something back to his woman. Nor effeminate. Men with got girlish ways, acting all feminine, nor abusers of themselves with mankind. That's men with men. We just read that in the law. Nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves. You're a thief. He ain't with you. Nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revelings, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. And such were some of you. Some of us were involved in this, in the world. But ye are washed, meaning you clean. But ye are sanctified. But ye are justified by Shalom Mashiach in the name of the anointed Savior, and by the Spirit of our power, the Most High. So when you look at, he say, but ye are washed. That's why Mashiach told us in John 15:3. If it mean anything to you, it says, now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. That's how you clean, through the word of the Most High. Ephesians 5:26. Ephesians 5:26. Ephesians 5:26. That he might sanctify and cleanse it, meaning wash you. With the washing of water by the word. Washing of water by the word. Clean this up by the word. But if you don't read these words, you're not going to be cleaned up. You got to know what this is talking about and what he's saying. And once you're cleaned up, 2 Corinthians 5 and 17, I believe. By the word, you learn it, you live it, you apply it in your life. 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if any man be in the Most High, while Mashiach Yahushua, by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, he is a new creature. See, old things are passed away. How you were before should be passed away. Like I say, we were involved in all those things that would have us not to make it to the kingdom. They say, but now you got to become a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. See? And all things are of the Most High, who have reconciled us to himself by Mashiach Yahushua, and have given to us the ministry of reconciliation, forgiveness, repented sincerely to the Most High. He gave us the ministry of reconciliation. That's his long suffering. That's his mercy and grace that he gives to his saints, the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. He's a merciful power. Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5 and 6. Listen, concerning your Valentine's Day. Say, let no man deceive you with vain words. For because of these things cometh the wrath of the Most High upon the children of disobedience. See that? Vain words, worthless words. And you can't prove it by the Bible. That's why Isaiah 8 and 20 says this. Hear this. Show me Valentine's in the Bible. I'll show you how it comes from pagan origin. Isaiah 8 and 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And that light represents what? Proverbs 6:26. If they don't speak according to this Bible, there's no light in them. The majority of the people don't have the light because they haven't taken the time to know what the light is. Proverbs 6:23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. And reproofs of instruction are the way of life. So, once again, Isaiah 8 and 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, is because there's no light in them. The laws of the Most High is not in them. It's a book of laws. We learn from the old to the new, everything in between. The Proverbs 30 and 5 says what? Proverbs 30 and 5 and 6. Proverbs 30 and 5. Every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield, which means he's a protector unto them that put their trust in him, put their faith in him. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. We said, add not one iota to his word, lest he reprove thee, lest he check you real hard, and thou be found a liar. Not only that, he told you in Revelation 8:22 and 18, the last book, matter of fact, one of the last verses of the Bible, what did he say? For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, the Most High shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. You add to the word of the Most High. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. Therefore, you going in the everlasting fire, the lake of fire. He told you in Revelation 20 and 15, whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire, as it is written. Can't get no clearer than that. So, going back to Ephesians 5. And 6. It said, let no man deceive you with vain words. For because of these things cometh the wrath of the Most High upon the children of disobedience. So you want to be disobedient? You don't want to do what you're supposed to do as the Most High says in His Word, and you've heard it? The wrath of the Most High will come upon you. They tell you in Hebrews 10:31, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. The Most High said, I will melt you. Like He melted all metals. He said, I will melt you. Be not ye therefore partakers with them. You know what it said? The children of disobedience, they're going to follow the pagan ways of the heathen. And Most High said, learn not the way of the heathen. Show you what happens. Be not ye therefore partakers with them. He said, don't be following the heathen and their holidays like Valentines. For you were sometimes darkness. Yeah, you were sometimes ignorant, doing the same things and didn't have anything else to do but follow whatever it is, that tradition, as you call it, tradition of men have set up to follow. For you were sometimes darkness, ignorant, but now are ye light in the Most High. You see? Walk as children of light. Walk as children that understand the laws of the Most High. His rules and regulations. For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Most High, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. See? We're supposed to be having fellowship with the unfruitful works of ignorance. Darkness with Satan and Nimrod and Semiramis and Tammuz and all the different names that they changed their names, going all the way back to pagan holidays and so forth, and customs and festivals and so forth. We're not supposed to be doing that. Why he said what he's saying. He said, have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. Check them. That's why you see us checking those that are wrong. If you want to be wrong, they want you to just overlook it. Why it said, verse 10, proving what is acceptable unto the Most High. What's acceptable to the Most High? To be righteous. Get Deuteronomy 6 and 25. Deuteronomy 6 and 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Most High our power, as He hath commanded us. What about the Ephesians 5? And 10, proving what is acceptable unto the Most High, keep His commandments, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them, as we're doing right now, through the scriptures. Also, I want to mention this little demon called Pagan. Half goat and half man. Like today you'll see the Baphomet. He's a god of filth. And I might say filthy McNastiness. Israelites. Look at James 4 and 4. All these things are set up. The pagans are laughing at everybody, making money off of you honoring their gods, their idols. James 4 and 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not? Don't you know that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? You at war with the Most High? You follow the things that the pagans are doing? These holidays like Valentines, you at war with the Most High. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. You're the enemy of the Most High. 1 John 2:15. 1 John 2 and 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, any man love Valentine's Day, the love of the Most High is not in him. The love of the Most High is to keep his commandments. His commandments are not grievous, 1 John 5 and 3. Understand? So, you love the world, the things of the world, the love of the Most High not in you. You might as well go on and just live it up. This be your consolation right now. And people try to come up with an excuse to justify celebrating these pagan days. And try to make you feel bad because you ain't doing it. You better understand. Let's get what we should be doing. Go to Leviticus 23rd chapter. Memorize these days. This is what the Most High said. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, this is the first verse. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them. Leviticus 23, 1 down. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Most High, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocation, holy gathering, holy assembly. Even these are my feasts. These are the Most High's feasts. Ain't no Valentine's Day in here. Listen, 6 days shall I work, 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest. This every 7th day. In holy convocation, see, holy gathering, holy assembly. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Most High in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of the Most High. They started with the Sabbath because these feasts are Sabbath days too. That's why he gave us the Sabbath day and how we should honor the Sabbath day. So these feasts are Sabbath days also. Except for we can, cook food and make, have an actual feast. These are the feasts of the Most High, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first month, at even is the Lord's Passover, the Most High's Passover. Okay? Usually falls around March or April of Esau's, year.